Hey everybody, welcome to the ranch. Today I'm going to take you on a cooking adventure that actually started a week ago. That's when I bought a pork belly and I had started to cure it in my refrigerator, and that process lasted a whole week. And then today I got the chance to finally smoke it. So I want to share with you this cooking adventure of making homemade bacon, and hopefully you'll be inspired to try it yourself. Here's a look at all the ingredients to cure our 10-pound pork belly. We've got some kosher salt, some pink curing salt, dark brown sugar, honey, red pepper flakes, smoked sweet paprika, and some cumin seeds. After I mixed up all of those dry ingredients, I just went ahead and started to sprinkle and pat them into both sides of the pork belly. Next, I put the pork belly into a food saver bag, which I sealed up on one end, obviously. And since I had some extra dry ingredients, I just threw them into the bag. Last but not least, the one wet ingredient, which was about a half a cup of honey, which I just poured right on top of the pork belly. Tried to get a little bit of it on each side. We're going to go ahead now and seal up this food saver bag, and we're going to refrigerate the pork belly for about 7 to 10 days, flipping it once a day, and we're going to wait until the pork belly feels firm. That's when we know it's ready to smoke. Nighty-night, pork belly. We'll see you soon. I just wanted to show you where we're at. We're 6 days in right now of this curing process, and I can tell it's already starting to firm up. So it's almost done. You can see all of the liquid that has drained out of it during this process. So I think probably in the next day or so I'll be able to take this out and smoke it. This slab of pork belly has been curing in the fridge for about a week now, and it's definitely feeling firm on both sides, which is what I needed to get it to. So I'm going to give it a thorough rinse now just to get all of the salt and all the other seasoning off of it, and then we'll dry it off and we'll sit it in the fridge for about 24 hours uncovered, and then tomorrow we will smoke it. Through the magic of television, the pork belly has been thoroughly rinsed off, patted dry, and now I have it sitting on a cooling rack on this sheet pan. And I'm going to stick it in the fridge overnight, so it'll be in there for about 24 hours or so before I put it on the smoker tomorrow. One of the things I've noticed is that it definitely has a darker, richer red color than when I first put it in. So the curing process has definitely done some magic to this piece of meat. One of the interesting things about this pork belly is that it doesn't have an odor right now. It doesn't smell like anything. And if you're worried about putting it in your fridge overnight uncovered, thinking that it's going to stink up your fridge, it doesn't. It doesn't smell like anything. After sitting in the fridge overnight, it has developed a pellicle to the surface, which essentially is a tacky feeling. So that's supposed to help with the adhesion of the smoke once we put it on the smoker. Finally, the pork belly is ready to smoke. That's right, after 7 days of curing in the fridge and a day of resting uncovered, it is finally ready to go on the smoker for 2 to 3 hours with some Applewood to turn into a big slab of bacon. Our plan here this morning is to get the smoker up to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll put the pork belly on and get it to an internal temperature of 150 degrees. At that point, we'll pull it off. I anticipate it'll take 2 to 3 hours to get to that point. Today I will be using my DigiQ DX3 again for this cook because I want to keep the temperature right at 200 degrees. And this temperature controller will definitely keep me right where I need it to be throughout the cook. The transformation process has begun. Time to turn this cured pork belly into some delicious bacon. We're 2 hours into this cook. Let's see what we're looking at. There we go. It's getting some color. You can see some of the liquid coming off of it from the fat rendering out. Keep it on here a little bit longer. Right now the internal temperature is about 134 degrees, and we're trying to get this up to 150. We're a little over 3 hours now, about 3 hours 15 minutes. This is all done, so I'm going to take it off now and let it cool off. Here it is, fresh off the smoker, about 150 degrees to 155 depending on where I probed it. It's got some really nice color. I'm gonna let it cool off now for a little while. I may even put it in the fridge or the freezer for a bit before I start cutting it, because it'll make it easier to get some clean slices. It smells delicious. Future mark here. It's been about a week since I smoked that pork belly and turned it into bacon. After I took it off the smoker, I threw it in the fridge for a few hours to cool off. Once that was done, I cut that sucker in half, and I used this cheap slicer that I bought on Amazon a while back and sliced up some nice thin pieces of bacon. I ended up with a 10-pound mound of fresh homemade bacon, which looked and smelled fantastic. During the week, we ended up either frying it or cooking it in the oven and having it for breakfast. We had some breakfast sandwiches with it and just some scrambled eggs, and it tasted great. All in all, I was really happy with how this homemade bacon came out. It looked great, it tasted great, and this was my third time doing it, and I'm sure there will be a fourth time once we're finished eating it all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with all your friends, and if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please click subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time at the ranch.